Good evening, my vampires of the night.
That's me giving you vampire emphasis.
Exactly. Alright, so, first things first. Something that is long overdue. I owe ourselves 5,000 bits.
Oh, that's correct.
Because I just thought that if we closed all the holes in the Empire, the name would go back to being one of the largest names in the galaxy.
We'd have a giant sprawling title across our land.
And I was wrong.
They've decided some of the League's land and maybe a little bit of the, well, who's that up there? The
Yeah,
shrimpy
see,
people.
look, you can't even read it. The name is so big, it's pathetic. It's Galactic Raxicotum, which sounds like a drug, Coalition.
Ridiculous.
Alright, so,
Thank you for holding yourself accountable and your honesty in these trying times.
I believed that strongly that this would work, and I was wrong. Gotta put my money where my mouth is. Anyway, so I think the biggest recap was the scar that formed itself after our two-front war has been healed.
We've managed to reclaim the land.
Exactly, and now the Empire is once again whole. So, going forward, I think we're going to spend some more time building up our military, but I think we're going to want to, let's see here, how powerful have they gotten in the meantime? Wow, that's a noise. Okay, so there's still only Federation partners with the League. Because I honestly, I think the Union of Sovereign Stars, while a great name, needs to be disposed of.
I would agree. I think they are a problem.
So hopefully before they start palling up with the trade association over here, I'm going to build up our military, probably get another battleship fleet going, and pretty much get ready for another offensive war, this time to maybe just completely subjugate these guys. I'm not sure yet. At the very least, we still have a lot of claims on the League's turf, but I would rather have one more war with them and then never have to deal with them again.
That would be nice. I could definitely appreciate a war to end wars with them.
Yes, peace in our time. Alright, first off, gotta remember what the heck we were up to when it comes to all this technology.
Lots of catching up.
Yeah, oh yeah, we still had the question about the sapient combat AI. I think I left that open for chat.
Oh.
You know what? I think we gotta start a poll.
Let's give it to the people. We will be a democracy here for now.
Let's see, I'm trying to think of funny responses. So the question is research sapient AI, and I'm thinking yes, sentient robot slaves. Or no, more trouble than it's worth. More trouble than worth? More trouble than war? Ah, darn you character limits. Let's say too much.
Danger Will Robinson is our other
one. Alright, I'll have that run for a couple of minutes. And you know what? Let's allow for additional votes. Because we are nothing if not interested in letting people with resources stilt the vote. Something commenting on.
We treat our empire like we treat a business. If you've got stock in the empire, it gives you more votes.
We are still capitalists.
Yeah, exactly. We kept some of our lessons from our Earth conquering.
Alright, and while that's going, Grant, how's your week been going?
My week has been basically non-stop Hitman 3. I've been loving that game. Playing it a ton, both for company time and just for my time. And it has been a doozy of a time. Definitely enjoying it. though it's definitely had some weird technical hiccups.
Oh yeah,
lately.
I think
have really been bumming me out.
Yeah, you've probably played it a lot more than I have, but that server connection is so tenuous.
It is constantly kind of having to reconnect, and then there was I think there was an update of maybe a couple days ago or something, and now ever since then my game will just sporadically freeze for a good 30-40 seconds, and I don't know if it's trying to pretend it's not hitting the server and looking for a connection and missing something or something, but I feel like they've made their cure worse than the disease was, and now it's a problem. If that's how it turned out, might just be something on my end.
Our vessels have been reinvigorated.
Yeah, because I haven't played any missions further than the one I've streamed, which I am planning to stream more of to those asking in the chat. I was going to actually do it last night, but I was just exhausted after a full day of meetings. So I'm thinking probably tomorrow night I'll go back and dabble in it. So I haven't played any further than the third mission, but I've played the second one about 3 times now.
The second one is maybe my favorite Hitman map of all time.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Because actually someone got to me on Twitter and told me that there was a really fun way you could kind of sweep the whole mission without probably knocking the detective out, but then just you can make the target commit suicide and she still opens the safe.
Nice. I didn't know that was an option. I know you can solve the murder mystery, but keep that information to yourself and let the murderer continue to murder, and they will get to your target.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I did that by accident on my second run, because I was just trying to explore the manor, and then was suddenly told, good work, 47. Wait, she's dead?
What happened? Yeah, I kind of also stumbled onto that discovery, and it was quite great. Also, thank you, Vamp Planet, gifting a bunch of subs here recently. 10 subs going to RedJack272, Rain Ferret, Flex DK, Daggle Dangoose, Scoop Smoke Scale, Apache 28, Dark Side Adept of Kells, Vintage Spiffy, Victory Nibbles, and Trivia Loves. Thank you again, Vamp Planet 419, for bringing all those folks into the fold, and Omega Syntax just for re-upping your 41 months of subbing, saying, I hope this campaign still lasts long enough until next month. Then I can maybe suggest adding the restaurant as a possible system or colony name. Actually, hold on, Omega Syntax. Let me look through our list here. I don't think you're on here, so I can probably throw that up.
Still prefer the timeline where you just shot her in the face. Yeah, but that one didn't have much longevity to it. Because, yeah, there was one where I don't know if it was a bug or someone in the lobby could still see me, but I was trying to hide the detective's body, and suddenly everything went on alert. So I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to get her. So she was still coming downstairs to meet with the detective, and I think I just threw a knife at her. Or maybe I shot her in the head. I forget which one. But yeah, I just killed her and then immediately ducked into a closet. And they didn't find me, but getting to that safe with everyone still on alert proved to be a bit too much, and I got killed.
That the just amount of situations you can be in that game where it's like everything seems like it's going good, everything's fine. Oh, everyone is mad at me. They are all pointing their guns right away. On that Dartmoor map, the bell you can ring to trigger a family meeting or whatever. If you do that while everyone is already there in their meeting, the guards will just start shooting you. They do not like it if you ring that bell out of turn.
Yeah, so about that poll, I'm gonna have to pull it back up because the mod view overwrote it. So don't worry, I won't have to start a new one. We'll still be able to get the old vote. I just have to log back in under...
Just gotta search for it a little bit.
Yeah, I have to log back out of my account, into the Stream 4-star account, go over... So much fun. In the meantime, we are on the Galactic Council. I believe they're in session, so we can't pull many shenanigans, but I am thinking... Which one of these... Yeah, I'm thinking if we could get this off the table... and then put forward a resolution to increase the power of the council. Maybe even make sure we get a permanent seat. Yeah, no empires are likely to support it. Well, are they likely to vote against me? If they abstain, we still win.
Nice. We are getting some generosity here in the chat real quick that I want to highlight.
Oh,
Shigure
yeah.
17 gifting a sub to Morgan Freeman Jr. Welcome aboard. Apollo Sinclair with 3-month subs. And what's our most powerful weapon? Can we jump between stars yet? I don't think we can.
That's still so. Our survey ships can, but the basic ability for the rest of our ships has not been gotten. We haven't gotten that yet.
Gotcha. And then Friendly Wendigo with 5,000 bits, saying, always happy to hear Quinn and Grant. Have fun, you guys. Thank you very much, Friendly Wendigo.
Thank you.
Very, very appreciated. And we're happy to hear from you, too. Gwendolyn Knight also coming in with, or Gwendian Knight, sorry, coming in with a sub, saying, thanks to Probably Not a Mare for my gift sub. And so they're continuing to extend that gift. And Apollo Sinclair also added some bits, saying there should be a lawyer minigame in Hitman where you're getting your assassin off of charges based on conjecture. I could definitely see something like that. And Tazaki14 gifting 5 subs. Thank you very much. Timeless Memory, Sated Zangetsu, a White Mage, Moonred 4,000, and Bleached Black Cat. All of you, welcome. And Talon the Dragon, holy
Oh my
cow,
gosh, how many
gift
gift subs is that?
That's 25 gift subs right there. I'm not going to read off all those names because that's quite a list there. But thank you very much, Talon the Dragon. Holy cow, 25 submarinos. Very, very, very much appreciated. And Raven Harrow's swooping in right before I stop this with 6 months woot. Grant, I wish to use my name by giving it a non-sub idea of your choice. All right. If I see a good name in the chat and you don't have a sub, I'm going to attribute it to Raven Harrow's.
All right, and so I was able to pull up the poll. It looks like with 85%, exactly 100 people voted on this poll. That's what I like the most. So 88%, 88 people voted for yes, sentient robot slaves. So we are researching sapient combat AI.
All right.
Hopefully,
I
it
like
does
it.
not bite us in the ass. Fingers crossed.
I mean, how bad could it go?
All right, so really need to do some tidying up on our worlds. Gaijin's doing okay. Oh, and you know what? Someone else brought up a valid point. If we gave, let's see, which one of our toxic species, the Zemi, if we gave these guys colonization rights, we could use them to go ahead and colonize tomb worlds for us. And because the thing is, if I terraform it into something that's more palatable to, say, humans, we lose this wild storms thing, which gives us a whole lot of physics research. So just to make it clear, yes, I'm giving the slaves more rights. I'm maybe giving them more rice, but it's just so I can exploit them more effectively.
Happier, so they'll work harder.
Exactly. So I believe we already named the system Lizard's Lament. Is there any colony names waiting in the wings?
Colony names, we sure do. This next one from Incendies Productions is the Wug Thug Tea Garden. Wug has 2 G's in it, just for your information.
So is it like Wug Thug, 2 different words, or just Wug Thug?
2 words,
Okay.
yes.
Like that?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much for the shout out to people who are subscribed to my Twitch. We call them the Wug Thugs. And now we have our own tea garden in our colony, so it works out.
You know, one of these days we should really get back to playing Civilization against each other. You'd probably beat me very easily, but I'm all for having at least a small competition between us. Maybe I can convince some of the AIs you're the real threat before it's too late.
Yeah, the rule is I can't have alliances. I am an evil empire that you and the AI have to stop.
Ooh, I like that. That's really good. Like I'm
also, Vamp Planet, real quick, throwing a bunch more bits with 1,500. Thank you very much. And in MLNB gifting some more subs. I'm sorry, you were saying?
Oh no, sorry. I was just this thing popped up. I think that's a lot of minerals, but we are in no shortage of that. So let's go ahead and study the remains of this fossilized dragon. I was phrasing the idea of, yeah, you're the evil empire, and I'm like the fledgling federation of planets.
Like, you don't understand. You can't trust him.
Yeah, no, it's just like, God damn it, France, stop paying him under the table.
Yeah, like I'll keep trading things with these people, and you're like, stop, don't. Quit letting him do that.
All right. Chat, you've been so active. I can hardly get a word in edgewise. Not that I'm complaining, but it's glad to see everyone so active on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody.
What else should I build on Gaijin? I'm not sure. There's no more mineral income, so I don't want to add to the deficit. You know what? What's our upkeep at? We've got plenty of moats. Use the Ministry of Production.
Cosborn asking if there's a timeline for the next Among Us video on the gaming channel. I think there's one scheduled to be coming up soon. I know.
Yes.
I know Jesse's been editing the VR game Among Us.
I believe
that's
we
been taking a bit more time.
Yeah, we have 2 more videos in the pipeline for now. We have one with the VR stuff, and that one is pretty much done, and I think should be going up next week. And then after that, we have the ones where we're using proxy chat. I'm not sure when that's going to come out. I think Jesse's still working on it.
Gotcha. So next week sounds like is what you're looking for, Cosborn. And yo, Apollo Sinclair with 200 bits saying choo choo for my home planet. Build our planets, make them stronger. All right, we got a bunch of people who are recently gifted subs, and they're using their naming rights. Please, here I'll be in chat real quick. All right, look for my message in the chat to @me if you want to name stuff. Use the @. You know what to do. That'll make it much easier for me to see stuff. Like Green Elridge, they knew what they were doing.
Let's see. Someone just pinged me. How are you feeling about proxy chat and Among Us? I like it, but I can see why some people have been coming into the comments on the archive videos saying that they're more fans of the traditional style, because it is a different game.
It definitely is. It definitely changes things.
Yeah, especially when it seems like the system bugs out and it becomes abundantly clear who the imposter is. Like when Scott was starting to talk about killing Bracky and Electrical, it just was like, well, of course it's Scott. Because he was laughing maniacally as he, I guess, vented to medbay.
It's definitely a thing where you have to kind of know that your mic is on and be aware of what you're saying. What's rough for me is a lot of those streams, like, it was just a lot of me kind of just talking to my chat while I'm just running around doing stuff, other than when I was killing people. So trying to be like, all right, we're having a stream, but I can't talk about what I'm doing right now because people will hear it. So I'm just gonna kind of go around somewhat silently until I see someone. This is a very different experience.
Yeah, I always doubled up on push-to-talk for both Discord and proxy chat, so I could still kind of just comment aloud. Which honestly, I think a lot of my thought process is me just thinking aloud, so I don't think I'd be able to play if it was just voice activity.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot.
Alright, let's speed things up a bit.
Vessels have been refitted.
Don't you love it when you're trying to like move a window on your computer and then you accidentally move it to a side and your computer's like, oh, you want it to full screen or take up half the screen real quick.
Yeah.
And you just got it sized perfectly. I'll be a little bit behind chat since I'm still adding names to stuff, so sorry if you're having a riveting conversation in there you wish I was taking part in.
All right, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I've already put forward the idea that we should get a permanent seat on the Galactic Council, and now using my council power, I am going to propose an emergency measure, which means now they're voting on it right now.
I like it.
Now watch all of them start to oppose us.
A study has been completed.
Can you put 2017 and other December list creation on Patreon or YouTube? So if you are referring to the couple of videos we put up on Patreon, actually, it's one video and then one audio thing because obviously they couldn't meet in person. I don't think we have records going back that far cataloging when the December people were calculating the list. Oh, hey, we got a scientist with a sapient AI assistant. How can I not say yes?
Gotta tell you, you guys have some good names for some of these. I'm hoping we eventually get there. This list is starting to get long now that people are learning how to use it.
Well, hopefully our Age of Conquest will give us plenty of planets and systems, well, especially systems. We'll have plenty of those once our wars start rolling. You know, we also have the open question of what do we want to do with the Darhesh Corsairs. They were... Oh, okay, so the Transaru vetoed the other law that was going to be up had I not caused emergency measures, so that doesn't affect us, but the Transaru are also flexing their power. So this is, let's see, that's a lot of armor. It's an interesting tech, but it also is going to take several years, over 10 years to finish. So I think we're still going to focus on other stuff. How about, well, you know, Afterburners is good, but this would actually increase engineering research across the board, and it's going to be done in less than 2 years, so sure.
In the grand scheme, how long is 2 years?
Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, no. So one of our leaders died, but I think it was one of our scientists. That was why I was getting that new scientist in that spot. So Barbarossa is still alive. Almir has not yet ascended to the throne.
Not quite on the throne yet, but he's eyeing it, I'm sure.
Yes, he has ambition.
Kikator asking, have we given much thought to which ascension path we will take the Vamps down, be it Psi or Bio or Synth?
Well, so I don't think we're doing synth. I'm thinking psionic or genes, because as things already stand, I believe we still have... Yeah, so the high vampires took it and ran, but we actually still have a gene modification point to use. At the same time, though, you only get a handful of points each time you pick that Ascension perk, and I'm thinking If I had enough points to play with, I'd probably try to get rid of the negative modifiers more than I try to give them something else positive, especially since the high vampires are now starting to kind of fill the role of a lesser vampire. So I'm thinking psionic, and failing that, genes. I don't think our vampires would become synthetic. They'd build a bunch of synthetics, but they wouldn't become them.
They won't turn into them.
Yeah, our death robots were fun, but we don't want to become the death robots.
Death robots are something we wield, not something we are.
Exactly. Oh, speak of the devil, the Kaiser has died.
What?
Kaiser Barbarossa has died at the age of 210.
But he was still a young buck.
Exactly.
He had so many years left.
210 years ago, we arose...
I suspect foul play. Imprison Prince of Air!
I'm surprised they didn't commemorate the occasion. No, Kaiser Amir the First. Heir? Oh, no heir. You're gonna have to fix that, Amir.
He wasn't getting very busy in his princely days. He kept
All right.
eyeing the throne.
So let's see. He has an agenda which improves happiness, but also makes us more xenophobic. Well, go figure. We've already enslaved all the aliens we met.
I mean, all about being happy.
It is very good, interesting timing. We start talking about, oh no, the Kai's still alive. Oh no, he's not.
Speak of the dead. Full. I can't believe it's not even an Among Us stream, but we tossed Kaiser.
Well, now we have a crown princess, Appia Jr.
Oh.
Interesting choice of name. I'm not sure why the game settled on it. What would be a good thing to put? A lot of mineral income. Let's actually go ahead and make another alloy foundry.
Thank you, Vamp Planet, for your contribution to the Amer Federation. Long live Kaiser Amer.
Well, see, unfortunately, Amir is just about 30 years younger than Barbarossa, so he may not
be on the throne super long.
Oh yeah, especially when the crown princess is 18.
Oh,
Something
boy.
tells me we're
boy.
going to have a very young Kaiserin when the time comes. Oh, hey, look, more G modification points. Why not? I've already commented on that stuff.
There's a light over the newly established colonies.
And Wug Thug Tea Garden is now a fully fledged colony.
Excellent. Welcome to our tea garden.
Oh, nope, wrong system. Lizard's Lament.
Good point. Welcome to Tiny Train Worlds. Hopefully, King Kaiser Amir isn't too generous and doesn't start handing out gift citizenships everywhere.
So with all the physics research that comes from this planet, I'm probably going to try and build a good bunch of research labs. And luckily, we have enough mineral income that we can make sure it doesn't have to drain our consumer goods income. So that's going to be a pretty good colony when I can get it up and running. In fact, there's a whole bunch of people that are going to hate living there, but are slaves and shouldn't complain. Oh boy. So let's start solving some unemployment problems.
Kaiser Amir tackles unemployment.
What do you call unemployment among slaves? Mismanagement?
I mean, look, if we're going to be real about it. Create even better buildings.
Well, of course they're mad now. I just sent them all to a hell world. And they still don't have jobs. Yes, I put the cart before the horse, but a lot of them were Lavis, who rose up against me anyway. They deserve it.
They don't deserve jobs.
Ah, Laboon.
prolapse system.
Bigger than the planets. Oh, lost another scientist. Go figure.
He was thinking too hard and disappeared.
His head exploded and his slug ran out.
He just couldn't stop thinking.
Now who died? Just a scientist. We don't even have to worry about their name.
One of them. Do you really need more details?
A study has been completed.
Oh, mining subsidies. That would actually... Well, I mean, our mineral income is not all that... Bleh. Does not need that much improvement. But then again... This is done in 5 months. Sure. You know, on a completely different note, or maybe if we want to go down the kind of link to psionics, Grant, have you watched any WandaVision yet?
I watched the first 2 episodes. I have not watched the most recent.
Ooh.
So I don't know if there's any big status quo changes, but I feel like they left it in a pretty exciting spot at the end of that second one.
Well, as much as I want to say something, I won't.
I like the cool Pleasantville effect where everything's black and white, but she found that red helicopter toy. Thought that was a nice visual touch.
All right, we've got our sapient combat AI. So once I start upgrading our fleets, they're gonna be interesting. I'm actually gonna start with the Morbid Swarm and the Red Cross Blood Drive fleet, and let's see what happens. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and pull up something as a comparison. So, now they have Sapient Combat Computer, which gives them 15% fire rate and 25% evasion, compared to the one I had just below it, which was 5% and 15% lower than this. It is twice as expensive, though, when it comes to alloys. But oh well, time will tell if this comes back to haunt us.
We'll see how it goes.
Insidious Calzone, welcome to the stream. Glad you've been
Welcome,
catching up on the
yeah.
archives.
Glad to have you. And I know you suggested a name earlier when you were not subbed, and someone gifted you a sub right after it. So your Panzerati suggestion for a calling name is in the list.
Oh, hello. Small fleet of derelict warships has arrived in Phangsmagoria. Crews fled into our space after a feud. So we could actually gain a small fleet of marauder ships, or... Oh, we do not need 200 minerals. Yes, take
A
them.
study has been completed.
So what happened here? Oh, did you just merge them with ours? Okay, no, they're floating over Mars. So now we have a small fleet of marauder ships. That's actually going to be pretty good for dealing with piracy. Yeah, because now that we've stretched out these trade lanes, you can see a whole bunch of these systems now have a risk of pirates showing up. So what I'm going to do here is use pirates to fight pirates. Go ahead and head over to Hematoid, and you can patrol that route.
Just keep it safe. Make sure there's no riffraff down these paths.
And if there is riffraff, he needs to sing the time warp, not sack our space stations.
Mm-hmm. Ember Taylor asking how Tyler's new dog is doing. He's doing good. Blue is a big, nice doggo. I would not necessarily describe him as a pup. I think he's 3 years old.
You know, I was actually talking to Tyler earlier today, and it seemed like he was getting Blue's brother adopted.
Yeah, it sounds like that's the next part of the plan. So we'll be a 2-dog household. Also, thank you, Sarubikage, for extending your sub another month, saying, "May the blood of your enemies nourish your people." I am sure they do.
They better.
At first, I was thinking like a space-age vampire like race that used blood for like literally everything, but then I realized that would be like a really silly waste of a resource that you'd be eating if you were like, and it also fuels our ships. That would just put a drain on a resource you're gonna need more of all the time.
Well, so the funny thing is, there was a was it a series or just a show? I can't remember, but it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, and I think it was just called Blood Drive, and it was like in a far future where gasoline has run out. It was very much like a grindhouse film kind of setting,
okay.
but it was like the cars
Blood
eat
is our
people.
fuel now?
Yeah, cars
Okay.
eat people. Because I did not watch more than the first few minutes of the pilot because, as a blatant admission, grindhouse stuff just isn't my thing. But it started with a girl clearly using her sexual wilds to attract a guy.
And then bring him to the car.
Yeah, and she's just, "Oh, can you take a look at my engine?" And he looks in, and it is
I mean,
just
if
a
this
whole
stuff
bunch of
exists at all, I would never look at a stranger's engine, no matter how attractive they might be.
and so she shoves him into the engine, and it eats him like a blender.
That's pretty good.
So much unemployment.
Why don't these unemployed slaves just get jobs?
Well, it's unfortunate that so many of these are on planets that are maxed out with districts, because that's definitely the easiest way to get that lowest tier of jobs. Actually, it looks like Jakurutu could use with some extra work. There. It'll have plenty of room for plenty of jobs in a year or two.
Just build it up. That's right, Incendies Productions. These pathetic slaves need to stop complaining and pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Get that gung-ho, go-get-'em attitude.
Yeah, well,
Phoenix
it looks like most of the galaxy has agreed to not give us a permanent seat on the Galactic Council.
What? What?
The Zaraki alignment, let's see, that would end
They
up just...
abstained.
Yeah, they're abstaining for now. I might be able
When
to...
we conquer the world, you die last.
Yeah. Even if they were to join us, though, that would end up being about 24,000 against 35,000. We'd have to switch one of the major powers over. And unfortunately, the powers with the most votes all hate us.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, well, it was a long shot from the start. Usually, you probably don't want to start pushing for this until your diplomatic weight by itself counters most of the galaxies. And hey, when we start eating our enemies, that'll happen.
Staked a claim.
We'll just let everyone know. You had your chance just to give us power. Now we're taking it.
Yeah. We tried to do this your way with the talking and stuff. And it didn't happen, so now we're going to do it our way. But Phoenician Ultimatum, Phoenixian Ultimatum, however they want that said, says, Quinn, well, I know that you mostly started doing these streams like to kind of keep content coming on the TFS channels. Do you have any plans to start your own channel once things start once everybody starts uploading to the channel again? Or are you just planning to continue to work here on the Stream 4-star stuff? Any plans for a personal channel?
Not really. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, but I'm not in this to create my own platform. I'm just happy to help. It's not like I'm gonna fade back into the shadows once other people start picking up the gaming and streaming. I'll still be here, but I don't really have an interest in making my own stake on the massive Twitch market.
Well, there you go. Not planning on jumping in that bubble.
All right. Housing's still a problem on Earth because I can't pull out that upgrade tech for this building yet.
make our buildings even taller. We don't have enough people on the planet.
Local Texan as a VTuber, make it happen. Oh, Andy. I am very happy that... Oh my gosh, I forgot we had factions in the Empire. It's been so long since I even looked at that tab.
Uh-oh.
How happy are you guys right now? Let's take a look at our politics.
Yeah, what do people think of us? What's our faction look like?
Let's see, we have 4 factions. The Martial Supremacy Alliance, the Citizen Obedience Party, the Vampire Preservation Party, and the Association of Unified Scientists.
Can you imagine anyone voting for the Citizens Obedience Party?
Apparently they have about a quarter support in the Empire.
That's insane.
And yet, let's see, so they support the fact that we're an autocracy, that we have a stratified society, elitism, as...
So they're the police. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, so the only other thing we can do to make them happier is to, like, create puppet states under our control. And
okay, gotcha.
They are pretty much, the name is on the tin.
We're here to make sure everybody complies.
So the Martial Supremacy Alliance is still pretty happy with us. The only thing we could do to make them happier is to conquer somebody. The Vampire Preservation Party has been happy with everything we've been doing. That we have a Vampire Kaiser, that we aren't in a federation, that we have that we invasively study primitive societies, that we enslave aliens, that we don't have immigration, that we, let's see, asserting dominance. So the fact that we've been at war, killing the space dragon. And,
we did do that.
Yeah, our diplomatic stance is also... So of the parties that are most happy with what we're doing, it's this one. So we might actually want to see if we can't promote the faction, because if it's really happy, if this faction has more support, we get more influence from their control.
Okay, so like if we make them better, them liking us is just going to kind of improve all of their standings, kind of.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So essentially, as we could embrace them, which will piss all the other factions off, which I don't think that's worth it. But promoting them would essentially start shifting support more and more in favor of this party.
Hey, look, these guys who seem to love us sure do get a lot more stuff. Maybe the rest of you should.
Oh, and it looks like we found the people who want to become cyborgs. They're happy that we're allowing AI. They have synth envy. Seeing other empires parade any kind of robotic pops around with no domestic equivalents any on our worlds.
We want robots!
So this is only a negative. Like, if we didn't have robots in our empire, they'd be mad, but the fact that we do means they're just not mad. They're not more happy with what we're doing.
Okay, we neutralized it, basically.
Yeah, so it looks like what they would want is for us to beat the Tronzaru when it comes to the tech race, which has honestly been something we've been losing since day one. Yeah, and establishing research treaties with at least 3 other empires.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, probably not. Especially since the people we've been trying to make friends just to shore up our borders are inferior to us when it comes to technology. Oh look, we're beating the Tronzaru again. Fleet power is inferior. Alright, if we keep the militarization up, we might get our fun war. Not sure exactly when. I can't guarantee it'll be before the stream's out, but we'll definitely be prepped soon enough. Alright, you guys made it there, so go ahead and start patrolling all the way to Kane. This system sponsored by Heat Tap. Forgot we made that one. Oh, when did we get habitats? That must have been forever ago.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so we can actually start building giant space colonies.
Oh, that sounds like something we could use.
Yeah, especially since it would help us fill in the gaps in here and actually justify us making a couple of sectors in our backfield. Let's see if there's anything interesting, because the thing is, when you make a colony, one of the districts, like, hold on, where's a planet I need to use? Yeah, so one of these districts, orbital habitats do not have these same 4 districts. And one of the districts will always change depending on what the habitat is parked over.
Okay.
So what I want to find is something... Ooh, you know what? It's completely in the wrong spot, but what happens if we build a orbital colony over Dragon's Horde?
Over the Dragon Horde. Yes, I like that idea a lot.
All right. It cost influence, so we finally found something else we can spend our oodles of influence on.
We've got more influence than we know what to do with, so we might as well drop it where we can and see what comes out.
Oh no, gang wars on Vampetta's way.
Vampetta, you gangland nightmare.
What are you fighting over?
Well, you see, right now we're in the middle of the vampire space prohibition. We can't have Bloody Marys with our breakfast. So we're building speakeasies.
Fighting over bootstraps. Nice one, Ember Taylor. We can't pull ourselves up by anything!
We don't have enough bootstraps to go around. Only so many of you are picking yourself up. Fight to the death. Welcome to Tiny Train World. The Bloods are warring with the also Bloods.
I like that one. Alright, so we actually unlocked another gene modification point. And you know, we have so many species in our empire, it just becomes tedious to try and revise them all. But I at least want to come back to our vampires, because now we have 2 gene points that we can use to... No, I don't want to apply it. I want to create one. So we can either start adding a few more traits. Oh, actually, we can't pick any more traits unless we get rid of one of these. So you know what? I'm going to let them breed.
A revolutionary
Yeah, I know.
idea.
I'm going to call you guys New Vampire.
Ah, okay, sure.
And then apply template to... Do we want to convert the high vampires? We can do that if we want.
Would that, like, have a good benefit?
Actually, it looks like... Yeah, no, so they'd actually lose a few of their quirks. They'd essentially... All of this would become this. Which, in light of the fact that they're the only vampires with an Arctic preference, I'm going to actually come back and say no. As fun as it would be, as for all the problems they caused us on Chiron Beta...
Those damn high vampires!
Yeah, they're just going to have to watch us turn into something better.
Watch us ascend to new vampires, better than your high vampires. That's right, welcome to Tiny Train World. In a couple years, we'll release Vampire Classic, and it'll be all the rage. Also, Disconnected Soul seems very concerned with our habitat construction. They are claiming that it is somehow going to ruin us in the long run. But if you're confident in it, I will not demand we change course. I haven't seen much support or like argument in as to why it will ruin us. Only that it will.
No, so he's saying that he built a habitat. I mean, I can only assume over the same kind of planet. And while it got rid of the mining station. This thing right here, it didn't start mining the planet. So did it look like a bug, or did it give you something to just farm the energy credits, Disconnected Soul? To that extent, I may want to get him to stop, because I would the idea of plugging away at the exact same planet. Okay. Well, that's enough to give me pause, because getting rid of a habitat is a whole lot more complicated than getting rid of a mining station, so stop. I'll go back to my original plan of building stuff over here. Oh no, something's happening on Wugthug.
Is so indecisive.
The inability of some local spiritual leaders on Wugthug Tea Garden to begin to calm the rampant unrest on the colony has led to the populace taking a more rational view of
They're rejecting religion for science!
They're not... So apparently, Wugthug Garden, not a place for spiritualists.
Oh, man.
Let's take a look. Oh, there's still unemployment. Go figure. Not much.
Maybe if you all had jobs, you'd find Jesus. I mean, Buddha. Whoever we serve still.
Yeah, who knows these days?
Barbarossa. He was the first god, right?
Oh, the God Kaiser.
A special project.
Well, it looks like the Authority has made peace with the Trade Association. It looks like, actually, the Trade Association gave them a good walloping because they got all that territory back.
We're watching them fuck them right now. It's pretty grotesque.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like they made some gains up here, but they lost all of this. That appears to have been the trade-off here. It was not just the Trade Association kicked their butts. Well, and here I thought the defensive alliance with you guys would be profitable. Now it looks like we might have to come to your aid. But then again, you started that war.
Yeah, maybe we should just let them sleep in this bed they've made. Although, would that make things worse for us when we want to deal with the Trade Association later?
Well, the problem is the Trade Association has always hated us. So sharing a board with someone who's weak but likes us is probably better than sharing a board with someone who is still weaker than us but hates us. Especially when we're trying to look to our other border to start a war. But yeah, no, just having these isolated pockets of the Authority over here is very annoying. It's messing with my desire for cohesiveness. Believe me, I was the one most offended of everyone when that massive scar formed in the Empire. That's why so it's like, okay, next stream I'm fixing this.
We'll get over that. Also, thank you, Big Piglet, for the 100 bits. Saying, random reminder for Quinn, you are a good person and the world is better with you in it. And a damn good lawyer, I have to assume.
Thank you. Alright, minor military sanctions. You know what? I'm going to support this. Oh, yeah, there we go. So now the Trade Association has joined the Union of Sovereign Stars. And Dio's world has rising unemployment.
Oh, Dio, give your people jobs.
Alright, let's send you guys over to Prospero. Really? Hold on. Yeah, that's... I keep building something on these slots when honestly I shouldn't.
But when you see a slot available, you just gotta put something.
Yeah, no, it's just, I need to get people off this planet because I don't have jobs for them. But yeah, when I see an empty slot, I just want to fill it in.
Luxury apartments? Well, they wouldn't build these if there weren't places to work nearby, honey. Come on.
Actually, yeah, you know what?
Let's change our slave stations.
I'm gonna change some of these city districts because that is definitely way too much housing. So that's a generator district. Their food income is pretty good, so let's make it 2 generator districts. And then I'm actually gonna change this luxury residence. It's not really going to help them unless it's something they can do. So let's make it a hydroponic farm. There. That'll take a while, but at least they'll have work. Okay, and now there are plenty of jobs available on Jakrutu, so whatever planet's left that still have unemployment, like the Vamp planet, you guys head over there. Prospero even. Oh, they're mad again.
Great.
Well, once this is done, I can send stuff over to make them more happy.
Lord of In-Game, I still vote to eat the unemployed. It's not cannibalism, it's just recycling.
If only we had these options. Yeah, because you'd think in a game that lets you have slaves, there'd be something in there that lets you also kind of diminish the population a bit.
Eliminate slaves.
Just get a really
Look,
healthy
every so often
army.
we need to cull the slaves. We need the best ones.
Okay, we got plenty of volatile motes. Let's actually upgrade some of these. Oh, it looks like when I started voting for something, they all backed off.
Huh, interesting. No one wants to be seen supporting the same sides we are. Is that the vibe I'm getting?
Nah.
Inbound communique.
Alright, the shrimp people want to form another federation with us. No, we definitely don't want to have to be dragged into your wars. And I doubt you'd help us much against ours.
Species altered.
Alright, the new vampires have emerged. Actually, you know what? That raises a big question. What do our chambers of elevation bring them into now? Does it make them vampires or new vampires? I don't know. Okay, well that solved that problem.
You people and your jobs and your gang wars. Don't you understand there are space dragons out there that still need slaying somewhere,
Yes,
I'm sure?
there are robot squids, there are giant dead plant things. Why are we focusing on gang
so
wars?
many other concerns.
We can make the plant people into drugs, I guarantee you. Like, look at that. You don't think you can smoke that?
We have a whole galaxy of ganja right next door. We're ignoring it.
Alright, it looks like we actually got a whole new archaeological site thanks to this. Chameleon energy field of some sort concealing an ancient structure was recently exposed on the surface of Blood and Circuses 4, a lifeless planet inside our space. Only a chance asteroid impact, which was deflected off the field while the planet was being monitored by a passing freighter, revealed its existence. Finally, at long last, our scientists still have something to do.
Thank you.
You actually get over here, and where is that? Blood and Circuses. Blood and Circuses. Over here. Oh, hey, look, there's already someone parked there.
Nice.
Why don't you research the projects, and then when you show up, you can excavate.
Amber Taylor suggesting we have those guys raid the League again if they're available.
Let me go ahead and check. It looks like they're in the middle of a raid already.
Okie doke.
I do wonder why this neutral fleet is sitting here. Is that the raiding fleet we keep hiring? I can't see it in that mess.
We're raiding our own neighborhood, and we keep coming up empty-handed. But you can keep paying us if you want.
A study.
Yeah, in reality, they actually don't end up getting anything from them. They just keep wanting to get paid by us. They show up, have a party. Let's see.
Well, we hung out for a few weeks, and sure enough, there was nothing to steal. Anyway, bills in the mail.
Ooh.
A special project is complete.
That's great. Hold on.
Special project.
So our science officer, thorough oh my gosh, xenohistorical analysis. Sometimes you try to say something fast and it just blurs together.
Just all falls apart.
Of the military installation on Blood and Circuses 4A has yielded few tangible results. The base was constructed before the planet turned completely barren, but it is unclear if its current inhospitality. Oh my gosh.
Inhospitality. Words are hard.
That doesn't seem like the right word for that sentence.
Its current inhospitality. Yeah.
It's inhospitable to life, but if its current inhospitality, it almost sounds like it's a bad hotel. Its current inhospitality is the result of armed conflict or some more peaceful or even natural process. What can be deduced of their strategies and tactics in armed conflict does not seem to have been far in advance of our own, so they ate their friends too. On the upside, science officer claims to have drawn much inspiration from the alien remnants. Well, that's okay, good. So I guess they got an extra thing now.
So we got science from finding us old abandoned place from aliens?
Biggest dickus. So this game seems nuts. Is it hard to get into? I've seen it on Steam for years as some bundle giveaway and never touched it. It is definitely much more involved than, say, Civilization. A lot of the kind of aspects of the game are not immediately clear, and fortunately, Paradox, like, this game is 4 years old, and while it has been updated frequently, I think Paradox has learned a lot more about teaching the player what this stuff means in other games. So, is it hard to get in? Ooh, okay, well, we're definitely getting a bigger ship type. Is it hard to get into? Yes, but there is no real consequence for failure. Like, I learned this game by getting it, starting it up, and then probably failing a few times before I finally realized, oh, okay, so I shouldn't build a whole bunch of farms while I run a robot civilization. They don't eat.
Yeah, what I'm gathering is there are kind of a lot of things to learn. Like, okay, here's kind of like where I should limit myself versus keep kind of growing, and just kind of knowing how to balance all those things. And it's a lot to keep track of and kind of learn values for and figure out, exactly what your goals should be. But once you kind of get in there and once you know what you're doing, it seems like it kind of helps you through and gives you a good idea of what you're looking for.
Yeah, like it has, I think, a steep learning curve, but once you get on top of it, the challenges come more from you having certain goals in the game rather than the scenario itself. I also, let's see, I've played Crusader Kings 2, so is it any worse than that? It is an improvement on Crusader Kings 2. Crusader Kings 2, though, so Stellaris and Crusader Kings are both grand strategy games, but Crusader Kings you're playing a single person going through a dynasty of people ruling a nation. Here, you're the nation. People come and go, but you're always controlling the same thing. So there's not as much kind of interpersonal subterfuge, wheeling and dealing.
Fewer like relationship kind of things.
Yeah, like I don't. Diplomacy, I guess compared to Crusader Kings 2, it's a bit complicated, but I would say diplomacy is much more bare bones. Like, as I can make a trade deal, I can declare war, or I make a few set agreements with people. That's it. I can't say invent a claim through hereditary rights so my grandchild can claim, oh, I'm really the king of the Eternal Empire and the authority of the Shrimp people. You guys all owe allegiance to me. There's no, at least I had never experienced the fruition of a grand plan that wasn't military conquest. While Crusader Kings can be much more kind of planting seeds and reaping them much later down the line. Diplomacy is cut to shrimp people. Yeah. Very fair.
The level of customization you can do on creating like your player race, though, I think is fascinating. Like, that's kind of coming from, and I'm sure like there are a lot of bigger, more grandiose these kinds of strategy games where this is a thing, but coming from Civ, where it's basically like kind of a pick your character and go, this has a lot more like kind of make what character you play and then play it. I think that's pretty neat.
Grant, I would be very interested to see, like, have you played any of the Galactic Civilizations games?
No, I have not.
Okay, because that's a series that's very much, if you take Civilization and you kind of
put it in space.
Yeah, because it's like Stellaris, where there are kind of finer points of your nation that you pick and choose from. Like, you can create your own civilization. Mm-hmm. But that one is a whole lot more closer to the basic concept of civilization. Like, you have resources you need to take control of. You have you essentially have planets instead of cities. I have Galactic Civilizations 3, and I've actually finally gotten back to it after 3 years of only spending 5 hours in it.
Hey, apparently Galactic Civilizations 3 is free on Epic right now, and I recently reinstalled the Epic Games thing because of Hitman, so... maybe now is the best time of all to look into it.
Definitely. Like, unfortunately, it's almost like Stellaris, where a whole lot of what the game turned into was through its expansions, which obviously aren't being offered for free on the Epic Game Store. Like, for example, the Crusade expansion added citizens, which are people you get gradually over the course of the game that you can pick jobs for and especially augment either your empire as a whole or specific planets. I don't think that's in the base game, and so when you play the tutorial, you end up going, well, what's this stuff? Oh, well, you don't have that. You don't have that stuff because you're this. You know what? I think we're long overdue for mind over matter. Finally gonna start touching psionic space. Since the dawn of our civilization, tales have flourished of mighty sorcerers wielding powers that can only be described as supernatural in nature, and then the vampire showed up. These rare vamps could supposedly invade the minds of their fellows, lift heavy objects with merely a thought, or perform any number of other magical feats. Until recently, these stories were just that, stories. However, our scientists have finally obtained conclusive evidence that proves the psionic potential inherent in certain new vampire individuals. Although only a very small minority of our people as a whole, the species as a whole, seem to be gifted with psionic powers, their numbers relative to the total population have grown steadily over just the last few centuries. Whether this is due to some kind of sudden evolutionary growth spurt, Kaiser picked the Ascension perk, or because something has triggered latent sonic abilities.
Some distant mind deemed it so.
Alright, so we now have the latent psionic trait, which means psionics will start propping up in our empire, and I think with one more Ascension perk, we can start contacting another dimension.
Ooh.
There are also specific ship techs you can get with psionic powers. We can shield our ships with our minds.
Ooh, I thought so hard your lasers couldn't get me.
Exactly. Oh yeah, now we have the Psi-Cores building. We can recruit telepaths to produce unity and decrease crime.
A study has been completed.
I'm seeing jobs-based production. Does that mean it'll help with our employment problems?
No, yes, it creates 2 telepath jobs, but I think telepaths are specialists, so it's not going to help with this base level unemployment.
I see.
You get that done in a year. We also have better point defense. Oh, you get that done in 3 months? Do that.
That's no time when you're using space-time.
Exactly. Oh, we can also make a research institute, which isn't going to be good for this planet because it doesn't have any labs. How about we get you commercial zones just to keep the plebs busy.
A study has been completed.
Look at that mining district number go.
I can go even faster.
This game can bug out and give you psychic robot leaders that hate synths, according to Kikaider.
Yeah, you know, and I've had something like that happen on Crusader Kings, where I think I've told this story before, but in case I hadn't, I had created the immortal god King Charlemagne of the Holy Roman Empire, who then became insane after he failed to kill himself. He had already lived for about 150 years. And sitting on the throne, he apparently made his horse, now named Glitterhoof, his counselor, and was so sad at the thought of losing Glitterhoof that he made the horse immortal too.
This curse we will share, so that I might never lose you.
Yeah, so...
My precious Glitterhoof.
Oh, and he learned how to become immortal because he met Cleopatra. And this was around the 1100s.
Star-studded cast, right on time. Sounded like a sound.
Yeah, the galactic community finally voted to approve something after many years of just voting down anything proposed.
Someone finally sweet-talked them enough to get them to agree.
I mean, I guess we could get shield generators. I've never built them. I guess in our war against the Tronzaro, Mean could really use a shield generator.
I can see that.
No. Go ahead and give me another... how many slaves are here? Quite a lot, actually. Give me the processing facility. Growing corruption on Weenie Straw Jr.
Not Weenie Straw Jr. If you can't trust them, who can you trust?
A spaceport is descending.
Oh, looks like pirates have shown up too in the Lost Staros system. So many things are happening. So it makes the most sense in streams to have the game pace keep going at a fast clip, but stuff keeps happening and I'm not fast enough to deal with it. Alright, let's see. Where did the pirates show up? Lost Staros, which... No, I shouldn't have dismissed that window. Oh, right next to... Oh, well, didn't they pick a very bad spot to show up? Yeah, no. Let's attack the system right next to Sol with this massive fleet of battleships. Go deal with that.
This will not stand.
Like
very Blue Shirt 616 for their 12th month of subbing. Their first year's worth of subbage. May the eternal empire reign for all eternity. We will.
Nope, and they're dead.
Nice.
Didn't even get to click on the system fast enough. I might actually start having to build resource silos because we keep maxing out our resources.
We have too much stuff and no space to put it, and no workers to manage it.
Oh, hey, look, we got our first psychic.
The psychic.
And it's a scientist who I think is actually going to start excavating this dig site for us. Yeah, okay, yeah, this was the tomb that was revealed by the meteor strike. And so actually being psychic means he's better at archaeology. So
hey,
we might figure out where this leads.
The path.
Okay, I need to start sending you guys somewhere. How about... Where do we have a lot of jobs? I think... Not there. Dathomir? A lot of clerks. Thrill as I manage populations.
Exciting menu to menu action.
Yeah, this is why I'm looking forward to the patch that finally makes sorting unemployment between your planets automated.
Yeah.
I need that desperately. Because, like, I think I said this ages ago, that's what keeps me from finishing games, because I constantly build massive empires with a lot of colonies, and when they all start having unemployment problems, I just get so tired of...
to cycle through.
Yeah, it feels like I'm pausing the game every 5 minutes just to sort people out. Alright, so, It looks like the shrimp people have conquered the Atholian Interstellar League, which I think was a couple of the systems that broke off during their war.
Yeah.
Tragic. The structure appears to be a gigantic mausoleum or necropolis, dating back several million years. There are no obvious signs of previous looters, so the structure may have been left untouched since the Chameleon Field was erected. The structure's first chamber is accessible, but an impenetrable door blocks any further progress. Large alien glyphs, yet untranslated, have been carved into the wall above the door. You know what? I think this is actually that event chain I talked about ages ago when I was saying there's an archaeological dig that helps you find something to make the Fallen Empire over here, since they're spiritualists like you.
Oh.
I'm not entirely sure yet, but the stuff about that mausoleum with alien glyphs sounds very familiar. The problem is, this Fallen Empire has been doing absolutely nothing this whole time. Because no one's made them mad. So they're just sitting there at the top of the power charts.
They're just a weapon waiting to be used.
Well, the thing is, so we're actually just about in the mid-game here. So something should be happening to really shake up the status quo. I'm hoping it's these guys awakening and becoming an actual galactic power. Because the other one that might happen is that these guys become hostile and start becoming an expansionist empire. Which I don't want, because while I could probably beat them with our battleship fleet, that's going to be something that distracts us from our larger goal.
We just don't have the time or the ships.
We gave you guys so much money and now you're invading us? What the hell? Not cool, bro.
Man, when we finally do, like, really master space travel, I mean, I guess by that point people probably won't be using very many paper maps, but displaying a galaxy map on paper seems like it would be really difficult.
Oh, yeah, you always have the problem with that three-dimensional space. You know, every so often I pull up that video that Kurzgesagt made about making a moon base, and it's just like, oh yeah, we could do that with technology we have now. It just costs like 40...
It's just so much money and time.
But it's like, here's the thing. You had people estimating that at least a preliminary base could be done with just, I don't want to say a few, because it's still billions of dollars, but with just like $10 to $40 billion, which is
Chump change.
less of a tenth than our military budget in the United States. And I think we spent more on the F-35 project than all of that moon base design. It's just like, I want a moon base. It's just cool to have something on the moon.
It'd just be neat.
Yeah. Can it be something I take a vacation to? Maybe, but it's just nice to look up at the moon and go, there's stuff up there.
We know something's happening up there.
We didn't just ditch stuff there decades ago.
We saw that moon and we started working it.
Yeah.
Like men.
We didn't go to the moon because it was easy. We didn't leave shit up there because it was easy. We left it there to insult the Russians.
To show how tough it was and that we made it. Well, Quinn, it's obviously because the truth is we've never been to the moon. And so we can't get there. We haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, all those rocket launches were just for show.
Yeah.
Landed in the Atlantic.
The flag isn't waving in the video.
Fished out by Atlanteans. Man, of all the points against the moon landing one, the one about the flag not waving is just the worst.
I know. Whenever I hear that one makes me laugh.
Like, you want to point out the shadows and all that stuff? Okay, maybe. But the flag not waving is just... Yeah, no, it wouldn't. Ooh, psionic army. Well, research that shit. Soldiers gifted with psionic abilities. Their focus on destructive psionic powers has led to drastically different tactics and strategies on the battlefield. I was thinking dramatically, not drastically.
But But alas, all of our soldiers were the dumbest members of our society, and we've supercharged their brains for attacking, making them no longer soldiers.
And in some of them, we just turn them into scanners that explode when they get too close to an enemy. They probably won't even die, but they'll be grossed out.
But it's just gonna be nasty.
Yeah. They're gonna want to have to go home and wash.
We cursed our soldiers with telepathy, and now they can only hear the screams of their victims for the rest of time.
All right, you know what? I think it's time we start building. Oh, wow. Look at that. An armada, to be sure, with 32 fleet power. Yeah, they're going to regret messing with us.
Come on in.
And now I'm going to start building battleship fleet. In fact, you know what? It's been so while since we popped over in the ship designer. I want to make sure we actually have the ships I'd want to be in the fleet.
Vorpalin brings up a good point. If our thing is all about attacking mines, we're going to be really weak against robots, because I have a feeling psychic stuff does not really work on them.
This is correct. We definitely shouldn't completely build up a whole bunch of psionic armies if we start attacking planets colonized by robots. They'll be immune to most of that stuff. But for now, what I want to do is just build that stuff. Actually, just start with the start with the Draculaser. We'll build out from there. Also, don't we still have a Titan being researched? We do. In about a year, it'll be done. We'll get a new ship class, and we'll need a new ship class name right about then. Alright. The alien glyphs above the door have been translated as follows. I am Zarklon, the guardian of Maz Tarb, the prophet of Zva. In a galaxy awash with spite and hatred, I have chosen to seclude myself here. Proceed, if ye be worthy. After combing through the first chamber for anything of interest, archaeologists discovered a tiny concealed wall panel. When pressed, the ancient door rumbled open. The second chamber can now be accessed. Yes, okay. Ooh. So this is the prophet. This is their prophet. So at the end of this actually very long chain, we'll discover something that makes them like us, and will actually give us something really cool that'll keep a surprise for you, Grant.
Well. Exciting. We found a space prophet in our backyard.
Yeah. Vampires now weaponize Jesus. True paradox.
You can't use the cross against us if it's ours!
The Buddhist vampires now have discovered Jesus and have weaponized him.
We forgive you as we eat you.
Watch us turn the other cheek, and the other cheek just has a massive Death Star laser on it.
And blood and water flowed.
Prepare yourself for this fully armed and operational religion. And it's just a giant watchtower.
This is our monolith. It's where we worship. It's where we believe. Don't worry about the weapons we store inside. It's just part of how we worship.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to building administrative centers soon. Maybe we'll upgrade the ones we already have. What do you use? Crystals? No, we got plenty of those. Who's not happy? Horcruxes isn't happy. Here, have another administrator. There you go. Feel better? Here, have an administrator. Why? Because you're not yourself when you're unhappy.
Administrate yourself. Come on.
All right, we've got our Titan. We even got a new defensive station, too, so we need 2 ship names, actually. Let me just...
Ooh, all right.
You know what? I'm going to cave here. I'm going to go ahead and set up this rather long engineering project. All right, let's see here. Ship designer. Let's do the defensive station first because it costs us nothing. Yeah, see, it's just a giant laser.
Just a big old laser. Well, I'll jump a little bit ahead on the list, but since it's just a big laser, I think that can be Laser Pator from Blue Shirt 616.
All right. No, why is it? Just go away. Oh, this one's called Romulus. I like that name, but it's not. It's not a sub.
All right. Is this our Titan or our?
Yes,
so our
it
big
is.
ship?
It is our. It is our. It is not the ship. That would be a Juggernaut. We have one more ship design to go to before we have the the Crimson Fucker.
But you would describe this as a larger ship, because I definitely have like some specifically for
this.
Well,
is,
you know what?
Aside from the one ship we get for our entire fleet, this is the largest ship you can build.
Okay, we've got a couple names for bigger ships, so I'm just gonna go towards that. Link Shark had the first bigger ship name with X, like AX Ascendancy, so like Ascendancy, but there's an X right after the A.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Ascendancy.
All right, let me make sure these are the weapons I want. Let's see. We have the kinetic battery for shields, neutron launchers for everything else. Actually, do I want the neutron launchers or the plasma cannons? Seems like the neutron launchers are still a better bet.
Oh, apparently I was incorrect. Link Shark says there is no X. They just wanted Ascendancy, so it might have been a typo on my part. My mistake. Thank you for catching that before we made it official.
All right, and save. You ended up making another one after Romulus, didn't you? Damn it. Romulus is a good name, okay? If I was playing a normal game, I would have just kept it as Romulus. But this isn't how this works. Maybe I should make it 3 kinetic batteries, 3 neutron launchers. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. There. Okay.
A study has been completed.
Alright, now we can pick either domination or adaptability. Clear blocker
I like
clause.
The sound of domination.
Yeah, here's the thing though. So the only thing we can do right now is adopt one of them. We can't even pick one of the starting things. It's either when we get it, the clear blocker cost is reduced, we don't have any blockers left to clear, or the pop housing usage is reduced by 10, and that's actually effective because we have our new vampires still taking up extra housing. But this, yeah, we just get the Federation, which we're not going to make. Habitability increase is good because that means everyone will enjoy living on our colonies better. Ooh, and all of our planets get a free building slot. Oh, and resettlement is cheaper. Yes, domination definitely sounds like what the Eternal Empire would do, but adaptability has a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna need.
But adaptability has the actual perks.
Yeah, when it comes to move,
Fair enough.
Because every time we move, like every time you see me move unemployed pops around, that is actually costing us energy credits. It's just we have so much at the moment, it's not that bad. Oh, the Crown Princess is learning.
She's being taught.
She's level 2, and she's 31.
Whoa.
Boy, where does 2 decades go?
A study has been completed.
All right, we got our psionic armies.
What a time to be a young princess as the Empire is learning about their latent psychic abilities.
Yeah, why aren't
This
you
is
psychic?
the Empire you're going to get to learn.
You're gonna have to rule over psychics. You better become one.
Yeah, you should probably figure this out.
All right, in just 2 years, Amir will be as old as the Kaiser was, as Barbarossa was when he died.
Let's see if he outlives the old Kaiser.
The second chamber is unremarkable, aside from another set of alien glyphs above a closed door. They read, "Petty kings issued edicts in my name. Empires waged war in my honor. Fools sing my praises. I would have none of it." No secret wall panel has yet been found that would provide access to the third chamber. Well, keep looking. No, Amir's still alive. It was Barbarossa, our original Kaiser, who died. Oh, and speaking of people dying, we have a new fleet name. I need a new fleet name.
All right. Well, first on the list is from Town of the Dragon with Bloody Feast.
All right.
They had 2 names in here, and I'm going to let that stay because both names were on here before this stream started, so that was probably something I did on purpose last week.
All right.
Just forgot.
So,
When their name comes up again, don't be mad at me, chat. Be mad at past me.
and you know what? Let's go back to Sol because the thing about Titans is you can't just build them from shipyards. You have to build a specific building on your starbase to build Titans. And what better place to build a Titan than the birthplace of the vampires?
Build them in our original cradle. A recent Department of Agriculture study, according to Rahalamas, commissioned in the early 90s, found that nearly 1 in 5 adults did not know that hamburgers were made from beef. I think I do agree with Jubberwocky in that it's probably the ham in the name that threw them off.
Well, here's the thing. I want each one of those people in the 1 in 5 set to be asked, "Do you think it's made of ham?" Because I guarantee you, at least one of them will probably say no.
Yeah. If you didn't say beef, did you say ham? Is question 2. Yes, no. That, or I could also imagine them thinking it's a trick question. Being like, beef seems like the obvious answer, but you wouldn't ask me if you thought the answer was easy.
Yeah, I mean, and there's always that kind of weird bias when you put people in a testing situation where they might
I'm gonna be wrong on purpose.
Yeah, well, and either that or they just answer differently than they would answer because they're put in the pressure of being in an examinated environment. That's why you can never really have a set unless you have so many different safeguards to make sure the control group is actually the control group.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Ember Taylor, for gifting some subs to Guy of the 80s and Lionheart Contra. Welcome to the crew. If you guys have something you want to name, go ahead and @ me in the chat, and I'll try to add it to our list.
A study has been completed.
Oh, we finally got the jump drive. Now, this is what's going to allow our ships to ignore these jump lanes. So we're doing it. If we're already risking sapient combat AI, we're going to risk having our ships jump through subspace to ignore these weird highways we made for ourselves.
Captain, the ship ain't listening to me. Also, it's taking us to the next star.
All right, I'm going to quickly run to the restroom, but I'm going to risk it for the biscuit and keep this thing going on fast.
Time is still moving, folks. This is unprecedented. Quinn is not at the controls. I am as powerless as you are to fix this, and that I can only watch as things happen. So let's be ready for any sort of eventuality during the what we called the bathroom years of uh-oh, that looked like some events popping off up there. That's a big skull up there. That seems like it's important. But hey, whatever. We'll see how things go. Oh, more things. Seeing we lost a scientist. An important one. Somebody just died. Oh man. Oh wait, did the person who died was it our Kaiser? Do we have our new Kaiserette or Kaiserine, whatever the feminine correct term for Kaiser is, if they even distinguish? Mistress Bird, come to think of it, Bloodstar would make a good ship or a system name. Mistress Bird, I think you've already got a name on this list, so I will hold off on that for now, but thank you for the thought. Captain, the ship says sorry, but it's craving a hamburger. Yeah, the ship is pulled into the McDonald's drive-thru and we can't go anywhere until we get our meal. Mob rule!
Just in time for my return.
A bunch of things popped off. Apparently a researcher died, but I didn't get to see anything about it. It's just chat understood
the engineering
from
scientist
the
died.
small messages.
Ooh, so here's an interesting thing. The engineering scientist, before he died, was researching the dragon scale armor, which is material science. We could pull the current guy excavating the ruin and make him the new material scientist because he'll research it faster.
Because he's aware of it. He's seen it. He knows what he's dealing with.
So you know what? Because I know we have 2 science ships here, I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to switch him over. No, I don't want to rename him. That's a whole different delta of choice there.
You stay there.
Yeah. Alright, and we'll deal with those thugs. You're the new excavator. Alright, it looks like we're going to be keeping our spot on the council during the next election.
A study has been completed.
Ooh, we can create penal... Okay, no, I've been waiting for this tech forever. That's the one that finally lets me upgrade the apartments.
Ah.
Alright, speaking of the excavation, after a long and tiring search, a secret lever is hidden under the floor was found, which provided access to the 4th chamber. As before, alien glyphs adorned the wall above yet another door. Those who wish to parley with Zarklon must find their way. There is in each chamber a hidden key that must be turned to proceed. The purpose of these challenges will soon be revealed. Why are you telling us this now?
Play a game of Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Oh God. Make sure you have 2 coins for the Temple Guardians.
The blue barracudas have praised.
Oh, I was always Silver Snakes.
Silver Snakes?
Yeah.
Barracuda just sounded cool to me, so I was like, I'm in that team. Kakaider with some channel points saying, may want to upgrade star bases for more anchorages, fleet cap to not pay a ship maintenance penalty, and so you can build even more Titans, 1 per 200 fleet cap.
Oh, I didn't realize our fleet naval capacity was that much exceeded. I've not looked in that direction for a while. Let's see. You know what? Here, you get a chamber of elevation. You've been out without one for a while. You need food, so I mean, it's not like we're running a massive deficit for the whole nation. So how about you don't do that, and instead, here's a Ministry of Production. I'll just give you one of those. Meanwhile, I have to wait for that to be done. Nope. Right now, I was. No, sorry, I was just commenting on stuff. Go ahead.
When our princess ascends to the throne, do you think that will she be the giant vampire lady from Resident Evil 8? Or are we just setting up for giant vamp lady?
She can be if you want. After Amir comes the queen.
I'm sure she has a canonical name, but if we just call her Resident Evil Big Lady, everyone will know who I'm talking about.
Okay, hold on. Maybe we can make that into an interesting acronym. So maybe instead of Appia Jr., she can be Appia, let's see, Big Vampire Lady Resident Evil. There needs to be a vowel in there.
Okay, hold on. Big. She doesn't seem angry. She doesn't seem
Alluring?
Ooh, alluring vampire lady.
Okay.
Bavler.
Big, alluring vampire lady from Resident Evil. Appeal Balver.
We've also got. Well, never mind.
No, go ahead. I can still change it.
I was gonna say, the Ecrid brings up big Resident Evil vampire lady, so Breville.
All right, I'll take it.
All right, there we go. Princess Breville.
It looks like Vorpalum actually pointed out that her name is Dimitrisu, or is that...
Like, canonically?
I'm not sure. It's her name is Dimitrisu.
Well, to me, she's the big Resident Evil vampire lady, and that's how I know her. We're going with head cannons before real cannon. Speaking of, scientists, get on that. Cannons for your head. Seems like every soldier could have a free hand if his gun was on his head.
That sounds like what Ciri was talking about in Witcher 3 when you first get her. It's like, oh, I've been to all kinds of planets. I was in one where they fight with metal in their heads. You know, in retrospect, she could have been talking about something like Cyberpunk, but it's just a more interesting to imagine. They just had guns strapped to their heads.
Our guns are just attached to our heads, ready to go.
We're prepared.
We've realized our soldiers fight better if they've got their fists ready to go. How do they pull the trigger? It's a mechanism under their tongue.
Some of them just swear. Like the orcs from Warhammer. They think it and it happens.
Ah. If you curse hard enough, the stronger your cannon shoots.
I think we're going to have a large assortment of heads in our relics before we're done.
Good. Those are the kind of trophies we like to keep around these parts.
Alright, so now we'll finally deal with the housing problem on Earth. You get a Paradise Dome, and you get extra research.
Apparently there's some mid or late game quest we can make to have our Kaiser or whoever's on our throne become actually immortal, and a lot of people are saying that is something we should definitely do.
So instead of making Barbarossa immortal, we make Amir immortal. Well, the clock is ticking.
Well, I think they're wanting us to make big Breville immortal.
You know, at the rate, so the game I think is going to end. Let me hold on. I want to click something first before I forget. I want to turn you into that. Okay, so she's 36, which means she has at least another 150 years on her, just thanks to our native species. And when it comes to victory, the game will end... Okay, the game's not going to end for another 300 years. Never mind, so she could still die. I'm not sure if we're actually going to play out the next 300 years. That's probably going to be at least another few months of streaming.
Oh boy.
But there may come a point where it's just like, okay, nobody can beat us. I think we've claimed hegemony.
We win, air quotes.
Yeah. Maybe I'll at least keep playing until the endgame crisis shows up, because that's going to be the thing that makes the last part of the game interesting. Because obviously, and this is one thing I like that kind of differentiates it from, I guess Civilization 6 kind of fixed it with the apocalypse stuff, but, you know, there comes a point where it's just, I've gotten so big and I've gotten so far ahead that all of you could declare war on me and I would still win.
And I will win.
So what Stellaris throws in are crises at the mid game, which, you know, could be either the Corsairs getting uppity or the Fallen Empire awakening, and then have end game crises. I don't know why that's so hard to hit the tongue.
Crises is a weird word.
Yeah. So and a few of them are beings from another dimension, or like the Zerg invading from another galaxy, or I guess more aptly the Tyranids invading, because you can deal with like extra galactic invasions.
A study has been completed.
Ooh, mega engineering, so we can finally build like ring worlds. That's definitely going to be something we want to invest in. Actually, now that I think about it, did we ever end up... We canceled the habitat on Dragon's Hoard, but did we ever end up building another? I don't think so. You know what? You go to Lone Star. go ahead and
The Lone
Build a-
Star.
yeah, build a habitat over Lone Star 3. And you go build one over... Ooh, that one actually gives us alloys directly. Sure. There we go. The 4th chamber. This time the lever was concealed in the roof. The 5th chamber has more alien writing. There is none. The challenges are as meaningless as these words.
What?
That is my lesson. The quest for the switches had no meaning. So this prophet's full of shit.
You backwards talking jerk.
I am Zarklon, the pawn, swept along by the currents of history against my will. Proceed, and an audience shall be yours. Should one still be of interest. The next chamber is likely the last. We're nearing the end of the quest.
Let's see it. Zarklon always had a way with words. Lord of Endgame. Who else but Zarklon? Yeah, now I just want our sitcom. Oh, Zarklon.
Keeping up with the Zarklon. Airing now on Fox.
Keeping Up with the Zarklon is filmed in front of a live studio audience who was forced to laugh.
Under penalty of death.
All hail Zarklon.
Should the vampires now adopt spirituality? No. I mean, I imagine at the end of this, our scientist, after reading that message, was like, well, we've come this far. I don't seek
Might
enlightenment.
as well see where this goes.
Or rather, he only seeks enlightenment in the form of enlightening me what the hell was the point of this place. Oh, wow. That's a whole lot of crime. I blame the schools.
I blame the hip-hop.
Nope. Looks like we've got... Oh, and speaking of religion, a new faction has been gaining traction, calling themselves the Council of Divine Guidance.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lord. You guys are not going to be fun to deal with.
Sound a little full of yourselves.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take a nice look to see what exactly you guys want from us. Oh, hello. Oh, no. Yeah, it looks like Kaiser Emir died just 3 years after the Kaiser last
Hey,
one.
outlived the old man. It's all any of us want to do.
So what? Was he the Kaiser? Geez, for what? Just like 10 years?
After my father's 200-year reign, I came in and reigned for 6, and
Oh,
then
she
I was
changed
out.
her name. Or okay, no, that's the new princess. Okay, so Octavia Breville, but yeah, Appia Breville is still the Kaiserin.
Lady Breville.
All right, let's go ahead and finish building the Highwind fleet before we build up the other one. Oh yeah, and what did this faction want? Council of Divine Guidance. Oh, they're not happy with what we're doing.
Ah, of course they're
Let's
not.
see. Leviathan. Wait a minute. We already. I guess it's been too long since we killed the dragon. So
Slay another!
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
find a new one. Kill it. So they want us to take over.
We need you to kill all these dragons. Well, we can't find them. That's our other problem. We need you to find all these dragons.
We need you to make them and then kill them. There's a lot of stuff the only reason they're mad at it is because we haven't done it lately. So we can still work. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong faction. Oh, they don't want us to have synthetics.
Oh.
And they don't want us to colonize tomb worlds.
Well.
Okay, so this faction.
But they do like our psionic pursuits.
Yeah, but that's one thing. One thing out of everything else they don't want. They want us to be spiritualists. They don't want us on tomb worlds. They don't want us to have. They actually want us to have spiritualist values in our ruler, and then they don't want us to have robots. Suppress.
We want to reinstate. We want to reconnect church and state. And we really don't like that you're doing all this robot stuff.
We threw that out the window when we conquered Jerusalem.
But we're really happy with your psychic promotion. We think that's pretty cool. I love the little tiny Transara core spot, like how they're.
Yeah, it's just I'm surprised they've gotten so buddy with the League when they have such an embarrassing disconnect between their systems. Like all you need is to take Zubin, and then you're contiguous. I don't know why you settle for that.
You should be zooming for Zubin.
You guys remember Lord Butts? How could we forget? We have a whole sector named after him.
Yeah, he
Butts
has a whole buffet.
He's got Gaijin, he's got Lizard Lament, Africa even.
Really, if anyone should be upset, because I know we've got a Strahd play. We've got Weenie Strahd Jr. What was our other vampire's name? I know it was like a funny name.
Michael McDoesn't exist, and then there was one more. I can't quite remember. Ooh, it's bugging me that I can't remember.
Michael McDoesn't
Gunther
should be the most upset, and I guess Gunther I completely forgot about. So to be fair, he was in the very end of the game, but
yeah,
those two vampires didn't even get galaxies or systems named after them. So, but that's all right. The Forerunners, Butt and Strahd, were the real champs.
Yeah.
Gunther and McDoesn't exist. Kind of just showed up near the end and took some credit.
Whoa, boy, that's a whole bunch of star bases. All right.
Vorpal, we gotta go in there for their Zubin cigars.
Where's the... Oh, you're not a citadel yet. That's why you can't do it. Okay. Ooh, we get an extra ascension perk from this one.
I saw a possible upgrade or whatever for chemical bliss. So are we just figuring out how to make better drugs?
That is so let me pull that up quickly.
That seems like something the crime syndicates would be into.
Yeah, so we have these different rights. One of them is living standards. For different kinds of people, we could set up different kinds of support, which makes them happier or more productive, all that jazz. For example, we have the Belmacosa slaves are getting decent conditions, which means we pay less in consumer goods depending on what level of, like, if they're a worker, if they're a specialist, if they're a slave. Essentially, this is the default condition. If you go further up, you have differences in what you're giving them and how happy they are. Chemical bliss is one of these. So once we research it, we can start giving chemical bliss to, say, the new vampires. Oh, wow.
I see.
They've spread out. There's only supposed to be one of them here, and now there's high vampire, regular vampire. This is what I was fearing. This is probably because either one of the planets is growing them naturally, or the chambers of elevation still just make vampires. But anyway... Hold on. Oh, the sneeze coming. Alright, so when it comes to set rights, we can go to living standards, and we can, like, we don't have what we need to give them utopia and abundance, but we are trying to give them the best kind of conditions of any of our species in the Empire.
Trying to make them feel good.
Yeah, basically. It's a way to make your population happier, and perhaps even in certain areas more productive.
Brother Coastal seems like a good thing to keep our slaves in line, get them addicted to drugs, and force them into harbor labor to get that high.
You're not wrong. Oh, Pirates at Lizard Lament. Stop. Laboon, how far away are you? Oh, it's going to be quite the trek, but go ahead and try. Oh, hello. War declared. War were declared. Looks okay. It's one of our allies.
Oh, okay.
Looks like
Who
the
would
shrimp
dare step
people.
to us?
Man, again? This wasn't even 100 years ago. So the shrimp people want to go fight the Trade Association again, knowing that if they declare war, they're gonna bring their friends in. I mean, this may be the opportunity we were waiting for. Our fleet isn't exactly where I want it to be, but we have some catching up to do with our naval capacity anyway. And
Want to kick our next stream off starting a war?
Yeah, so let's see here. The Tronzaru are still the most powerful enemies they can bring to bear. Everyone else is considered inferior to us.
We
Yeah,
also have
the League is
Zarkon.
pathetic. So I'm not afraid of the League. The Trade Association is probably going to be kept busy by the Authority for the most part. So we'll probably just be focusing most of our attention on the Tronzaru.
Who are the only ones who are basically equivalent to us. But then we could start taking some of that land back.
Yeah,
but
like
taking some of it.
It's not going to be the war to end our problems with them, but you know what?
But we can
Actually,
put a
hold
dent in
on.
them, maybe.
I'm going to do a bit of fun stuff here. Let's see. Demand vassalization. We can get the subjugation, cast a spell eye. So we can make a puppet state if we want.
Chaz brings up a good point. Don't the Transaru have a Death Star?
They do. It's not, I wish we could see it, but it's probably not parked over one of the worlds we have vision over. I mean, so that's, you know what? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to demand vassalization. They're going to say no. When does this expire? 5 months. We have time for them to come back and say no. Surprise, surprise, they said no. So now if we fight the League, we can say we're subjugating you. So aside from that, I'm going to say this can be the poll to end the stream on. All right, another 2-minute poll. Oh, going up. So, should we start the war against our old foes, or ancient foes at this point, or should we give ourselves more time and shoot down the Authority's attempt to be more bellicose?
A Transaru and a Vamp have never gotten along. Not in over 200 years.
It would certainly help our naval capacity, because if we lose a few ships, we won't be paying maintenance on them. True Paradox. We have a Death Star, but we have Jesus. Actually,
Well,
and
right
while
then,
we
didn't
wait,
realize
let me
that. We'll
check
back
on
off Death Star.
Okay, so the Zarquan thing should end soon. Did I ever tell you how these things work?
I don't.
Okay.
If you did, I don't remember.
So as we wait, as the scientists excavating the site goes, time passes, and every time this meter runs up, essentially the game will roll a dice. And depending on what it rolls, it will either give you nothing or it'll give you clues. And depending on how many clues you have, eventually the dice will roll, say, a natural 20, and you'll finally be able to progress the chapter.
Okay. I
So,
see.
and depending on how good your scientist is, that changes the results of the roll.
So we're
like,
basically getting kind of slowly, well, maybe not slowly better, but just
yeah, so
rolling
as
the
you
dice.
see in this whole like tooltip I've just pulled up, depending on what the dice, essentially it does roll a dice a D10, and depending on what it rolls, it either gives you nothing, it gives you clues, or it solves the chapter.
Solves it. Okay,
Yeah, and
I
every
see.
time you get clues, the results skew more and more in favor of finishing the chapter.
Basically get a little bit more advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. That all parses. I get that.
Yeah, but as far as the player is concerned, oh wow, okay, so we have, ooh, Vamp Planet contributed 1,000 bits for the vote, so thank you. But we have 134 votes, 68% in favor of, yes, schooling the squid. So we are going to vote yes on the war. We have joined the Authorities' offensive war against the Union of Sovereign Stars, which again, nice name. Let's
Love
see
the title,
here.
Hate the People.
The War Declaration. The War Declaration. We've joined the offensive war. Okay. Achieve war goals. So, what we have going on now... Oh, you know what? I forgot. Because since we didn't start the war, we couldn't pick the war goals. So while we can actually still claim the territories we've put a claim on, we can't, like, subjugate the entire league at the result of this war.
Okay.
We could still declare war on them afterward, because we just kind of partnered into the Authorities' war against them. We may not have a year, though. Well, we'll decide that later. Anyway,
We'll figure it out.
So we joined the war. Let's go ahead and send the Morbid Swarm on the offensive. Let's see how much we can snag from them while the battles are going. Go. Because they put nothing on the border again.
Construction venture completed.
The fools.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we will get the Highwind fleet up over in Space Australia to get ready against that offensive. We'll get the Nosgoth fleet over to Judas. We'll keep the... Where's this? Oh, okay, yeah, we just started. And so I think what I'm going to end the stream on is going to be a little bit of this combat, but I want to show you how that archaeology site story ends before we end the stream.
Sure.
A hostile fleet has appeared to us.
Vorpalum says they think we're going to get hit with a truce, too, since we're in the war from the start. You can only bypass the truce if a third party pulled you in.
A hostile fleet has appeared
So
to
you
us.
might not be able to...
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I that just came back to my mind. Oh, okay.
But
looks like
hey,
they-
maybe we'll drain some resources out of them. And
yeah,
make
and
them
it looks
weaker
like
for
the
when we
Corps
can
has
take
still
them.
been busy because they've got a fleet of 27. Like our Corvette fleet is stronger than this. I'm not afraid of this, but it is good to show that yeah, they have not been sitting idle.
Yeah, they do have ways to fight.
Oh yeah, the pirate fleet's still over here. What happened to Laboon? Are you still?
Laboon, deal
Oh,
with
okay,
this.
it's just taking him forever. So we'll fix that later. All right, go ahead and take the Maelstrom. Oh, we don't have an army over here. That's an oversight. Hematoid, I need you to start building stuff.
Our Kaiserin was in power for all of 1 week, and she decided to declare a war.
Build me psionic armies. We're going to make the plant people regret fighting us by making their heads explode.
They're planty heads.
All right. Where's our battleship fleet? Still up here. Okay.
Kikaider would like to know what kind of war this is. Is this for like a humiliation or anything?
Let's see. It is the... they are not making the war goals very clear. So the problem is, only the Authority would see their war goals down here. This appears to just be, yeah, it just says Skekdus versus the Union War. So the only reason this is a war against the Union is because they declared war against the Trade Association, who's a part of the Federation. So I imagine this is probably just an offensive war against the Trade Association,
Just over
like the
claims.
Authority's done like 3 times already. They're probably hungry to get this stuff back.
Okay, yeah, they're probably fighting to get they're trying to get their scar removed.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess we're doing them a favor. Actually, you know what? How are the Corsairs doing? Ah, they're
Hey,
still recovering. Wimps. Oh, you know what?
Hostile fleet has
I
appeared.
will send the road. I wanna kind of probe the border here because if that ship
Yeah.
is gonna go through the league's territory, they're doing it all over again where they try to get into our backfield. But I've defended it this time. I've reinforced it.
We're ready now.
Yeah, no, you
can't.
fool me once,
this
shame on
again.
you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. I'm clearly not paying attention. Okay, hold on. A whole bunch of stuff just happened. All right, so we
Whoa.
have combat, which is in this system, which is expected. Oh, wow, they've already got armies in here? Oh, okay, this wormhole. This wormhole must go into the authority territory.
Oh, interesting.
That's
okay.
Yeah, so that's good for them, not good for us, because if they start invading these systems, they'll have claims on these systems, not us. So this is why I didn't want to have us join a federation, because in these allied wars, you might end up losing what you've claimed to an ally.
I see.
But anyway, so it looks like we finished the. Yep, we finished the archaeological dig.
Time.
The final chamber. Hold on, I have to get into the mood.
Yes.
After a grueling search, the last key was discovered in the form of a minuscule button hidden. I've already fucked it up. Hidden in one of the carved alien glyphs. In the last chamber, a gigantic throne holds the slumped and motionless form of a large humanoid figure. A horrible smell hints at the decayed state of the being's body. Some glyphs at the bottom of the throne read simply, Zarklon, at your service. The body is too far gone to be moved, but the head is surprisingly well preserved given its age. Not wanting to leave empty-handed, some archaeologists use a laser cutter to remove the head. We have found the head of Zarklon, and we've just gotten a call from these assholes all the way over here. The Fallen Empire has called us.
Hey, how's it going?
It is true then. You have found the legendary tomb of Zarklon. Then
Got his head.
when the augurs told me, I did not believe them, but the evidence is irrefutable. I understand that you have the prophet's head in your possession? Then, as was foretold, the chosen of the great Zarklon have at last been revealed. As would have been Zarklon's wish, any unsettled holy worlds near our space are yours to do with as you wish. There are also many devout pilgrims on Celestial Throne who will be greatly honored to fight under your banner. So now what we found is a head.
Yes.
So by default, it makes us more spiritual. So the Buddhism in our ranks may come back. But at the same time, if we spend the influence to activate it, it summons a fleet of fallen Empire ships to our homeworld.
That's interesting.
So not that powerful. Oh, hold on. I probably have to... There we go.
Hey, look at him.
Yeah. So you can see the Fallen Empire design here. So as long as we have the influence, we can summon a pretty okay fleet to at least like defend our interior.
Okay, that's nice. We basically have a defense on call.
So, so unfortunately it's gotten to the point where it probably doesn't matter unless those planets are like in these three systems. But the planets that if we had originally colonized them earlier would have pissed these guys off, we can now settle freely.
Oh, okay, I see.
The fact that they haven't gone to war with anyone, at least not when we found them, leads me to believe that at least these systems might be what we're looking for. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to dispatch one of our science ships to go take a look. No, that's a construction ship. Where's the science ship? There you are. You have a journey to make. All right. And so, with the Empire on the precipice... Well, I guess we're not on the precipice because we were fighting now. With the Empire at war once again, eyeing to shame our long-rivaled enemies, that was horrifically redundant. We shall return next week, not only with the fury of the Kaiserin behind us, but now the head of Zarklon.
The head of Zarklon may it ever be praised.
Praise be Zarklon, whose pointless tomb gave us fun shit.
What a fun tomb he had. And now the Fallen Empire is at our beck and call.
Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope you had fun. I had fun. Grant, you had fun?
I had a good time. I had a good time.
That's good. All right. Let's see if I can send you guys off somewhere in the always badly prepared raid at the end of my streams.
We kind of just figure it out as we go. I think everyone understands that.
Zito is still going. He's doing a Dead Cells run. I like Dead Cells. Let's send you guys over to Zito.
Dead Cells is neat. Have a nice night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I've seen some strategic suggestions from the chat. Try to keep those in mind for next week, and maybe we'll put them into use.
All right, and as I wait for the raid timer to arbitrarily tick down, I hope everyone has a good night, and we'll be back here tomorrow with the Talkcast Pod Show a bit earlier, so I think that's at 3 p.m. We're going to be talking about WandaVision, and maybe maybe the other MCU stuff, and then later that night, I'll be returning to Hitman to probably finish it if only 3 missions are left.
Yes, but some of the missions can be pretty long, depending on how you play them.
All right. Well, until then, guys, have a good night. Later.
Bye.